Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this conference. Thank you for joining us today to celebrate Scotland's rock art. And I hope you had a chance to watch the lovely animation by Erin Watson from Kilmartin Museum and John Wass as you were joining. I'm Tertia. I'm the principal investigator for the Scotland's Rock Art project. We have a packed programme of talks and workshops for you today, which I'll run through shortly. But before we do that, I'd just like to give you a little bit of background to today's event. So this conference is being organised as part of the Scotland's Rock Art Project, or SCRAP for short. This is a 5-year programme working with communities across the country to record, research and raise awareness of Scotland's prehistoric rock carvings. The project is funded by the Arts and Humanities Research Council and hosted by Historic Environment Scotland. And we work in collaboration with Edinburgh University and Glasgow School of Art. Our project partners are Kilmartin Museum, Archaeology Scotland and the North of Scotland Archaeological Society, or NOSAS. This is the final year of the project, and so the purpose of this conference is to focus attention on Scotland's rock art, to showcase the contributions of our community teams and to share the preliminary results of our research with you. It's also an opportunity to look forward to the future for Scotland's rock art after this project finishes in December this year. So we have a great lineup of talks and speakers for you today. Many of them are, or most of them are, representatives of our community teams, as well as members of the SCRAP team, renowned specialists in rock art and Scottish prehistory, and heritage professionals. So I'll just share my screen, I hope, and run through the programme for today very quickly with you. After this introduction, we'll start with our keynote talk by Dr. Alison Sheridan, who I'll introduce in a few minutes. And this will be followed by the first of our first 2 sessions of talks for today, with a break in between them. There'll be an opportunity for questions and answers after each talk, and I'll explain a bit more about that in a minute. At the end of the second session, we'll have an extended lunch break until 3 p.m. But during the lunch break, we'll be running 2 workshops, which are open to everybody if you want to join us. Workshop 1 focuses on different aspects of protecting and promoting Scotland's rock art through a series of short talks by heritage professionals with short questions and answers after each talk. And this is also an opportunity to watch the world premiere of Matt Rich's animation for his booklet, A Song in Stone. Our second workshop is a panel discussion with 6 panelists representing academic, community and heritage sectors. And they will debate a series of preset questions that explore key issues concerning the future for Scotland's rock art. Our afternoon session of talks starts at 3 o'clock using the same format as the morning session, with questions and answers after each talk. And there's a break between those 2 sessions. After the final series of talks by members of the SCRAP team, we'll have a short advertising break, and then Alison Sheridan will rejoin us to kind of pull everything together with an overview of the conference. After we've said our goodbyes, there'll be a chance to see Matt Rich's animation again as the conference closes, and the conference will then close at 6:20. But after the conference finishes, we'd like to invite you to join us for a virtual drinks sort of social event. This will be held in a different Zoom meeting space where you'll be able to see and talk to each other. To join us for this, you'll need to leave the conference and then open a separate Zoom link, which you will have been sent in your Eventbrite ticket. And we'll also post that in the chat box at various times during the day after every session and at the end of a conference. Each session and workshop today is being chaired and moderated by members of the SCRAP team. So I'd like to just introduce you to everybody now. With me today, we have Joanna, who is our research assistant. We have Linda, who is our data analyst with the project. We have Freddie, who is our digital archivist. And we have our two co-investigators with the project, Guillaume from Edinburgh University and Stuart from Glasgow School of Art. Okay, and the technical side of things today is being coordinated by Paolo and his team from Video Production Edinburgh. So now it gives me great pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker for today, Dr. Alison Sheridan. Alison really needs no introduction, but I'll give you one anyway. Alison is a specialist in the Neolithic, Chalcolithic and Bronze Age of Scotland within its broader British and European contexts. Her interests lie in identifying the big story and more detailed narratives for issues such as the arrival of farming and the subsequent arrival of the so-called Beaker people, with particular reference to material culture. Alison obtained a degree in archaeology and anthropology from Cambridge University and a PhD on Neolithic Ireland, also from Cambridge. She's currently a freelance archaeological consultant, having recently retired from her role as principal curator in the National Museums of Scotland's Department of Scottish History and Archaeology, which is a bit of a mouthful for this time in the morning. And she worked in that department for over 32 years. During her time with the National Museums, she was involved, amongst many other things, in creating the impressive early peoples displays that many of you will have visited. Alison has a truly awesome list of accomplishments which reflect her immense contribution to Scottish prehistory. To name just a few of these, because we don't have time to name the whole lot, she's been President of the Prehistoric Society, President of Archaeology Scotland, Vice President of the Society of Antiquaries of Scotland, board member of the Callanish Trust and co-chair of the Neolithic panel for the Scottish Archaeological Research Framework. She is also Fellow of the British Academy, Fellow of the Royal Society of Edinburgh, and Fellow of the Deutsche Archäologische Institut, and also an Honorary Research Fellow at Edinburgh University. In the last 3 years, Alison has been awarded the British Academy Graham Clark Medal for Prehistoric Research, the Prehistoric Society Europa Prize, and Current Archaeology's Archaeologist of the Year Award. And of course, she kept us all enthralled during the long, dark evenings last November when she presented the 6 rhymed lectures on Neolithic Scotland, which have been viewed by over 30,000 people around the world so far. Alison has been a stalwart supporter of the Scotland's Rock Art project, and we're delighted and honoured that she's presenting our keynote talk today on rock art studies in Scotland, looking back, looking forward. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Alison Sheridan.